I believe say we don't go round and round. For now, if you not be the follow what happen today, we don't help you. Not so. We don't help you, eh? Okay. You don't able for know now exactly as things unfold. Left to you now. For decide how you want for decide. What's really happen. And how we feel say we supposed for able fix this going forward. How we go make this not happen again now we can't again. How? Because you no go say, maybe you don't know what's happen. I don't try. I try my level best for make you really know. But how do we fix this? How we go make this not happen again? Welcome on board, Usman Tolly. You get the platform, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Triple A. And I would thank everybody where they listen and view the program. And I would like for express my condolences to the family of the one them we lost their life. And I would say the one that we lost their life, let them so rest in peace. You asked one important question, Triple A. You say if them kind images there where they show now you scream, you know the kind images that one and they will want for seeing our country. These are not the type of images them we want to see. We want let them talk about we country in a peaceful way, in a credible way. But what happens so today now we country is not in the interest of a country. We want we country for go before rather than what we see so today. But indeed, Triple A, you mentioned one important thing. It's about leadership. It's about leadership. What I mean by leadership, we need somebody where something begin, if we come, talk to the people then. But I think this sort of quality in terms of His Excellency the President Jilomada Bio and officer now one of the qualities them we in get. Because trust me, Triple A, when we talk about leadership is about influence. It's about influence. How you go able to influence people them. And for able to influence people them, it come with some qualities then. You get forget them qualities then they. One, you get forget integrity. You get for be honest. You get for be an active listener. You get forget that self-confidence, and you get forget that strong communication skills. And some of them qualities here where I don't call so an officer we current president possess, especially when it comes to strong listening and strong communication skills. On several occasions, people and they expect them for come in the open, for can address issues then. And they keep quiet. And I think himself know that. Because I remember in one of his speeches that we make recently, we go open that bridge now, Magbang, and recognize say people and say, you know, they talk. But Mr. President, you get for communicate with people and you get for the listen. Sometimes then when you come and you hear your voice, it make a lot of difference. And that will influence people then thought. If they want to do otherwise, for the words of courage where they give them, then they can change the perspective. I think it's very important that the president will recognize this in weakness. If we understand saying that the president of the country and communication are one of the things that what they look forward to, or they can't talk to the people then. I think that is missing. And the other thing also, I listened to Alpha Saidu, an interpretation of the vice president and release statement to the public. That is very misleading and very misrepresentative. And it get the propensity for cause more chaos. Say what in the vice president say. Or to the extent of saying that they will shoot him, I think is in itself is dangerous. That's not what we expect. Because already we don't condemn, say, violence, not in the interest of the country. So we know we expect him for interpret what in the vice presidency in that manner. And also, the interview Umaru Fofana, now BBC. And clearly, you listen to him, you talk about, he say, who side the violence, the riots, they are mostly na the opposition stronghold. Specifically, he mentioned about the eastern part of Freetown and the northern cities, like McKinney, Putloko, all the areas, and they say in a day the violence or the riot happen. You see, AAA many times on this forum would only talk about this. Waiting point with country in our politics. Yesterday, I listened to Bobby in lyrics. You know what they cause all this? Not divide and rule. When politicians then they engage on divide and rule, now some of the impact in this, the impact of divide and rule. So if they look at this demonstration today, based on regionalism, stronghold. I agree with Omar Fofana. And times without number, we don't talk say politics na impola country. When you bring your administration, you base your administration, and this is common to all to all the parties that we don't rule that country. It's based on divide and rule. And when you divide people and rule them, now this you get. Clearly, you see, say, this demonstration today is mostly based on regionalism. Nobody know they dispute that. That is the honest truth. That's the sad reality. Yeah? And according to the Minister of Information, Rahman Suare, he say this now a people where self-seeking politicians or individuals then, where then exploit jobless youth them and the economic situation of the country. You see, AAA, even the ministers themselves recognize the potential problems of the country. When you get a large number of youth unemployed, I think it's highly problematic. These are some of the consequences of massive unemployment, especially among the youth. I will attest to you, say, about 70 to 80% of those youth who were involved in this riot are unemployed. They are jobless. This is why day in, day out, they call on the government to engage the youth. They call on the government for engage the youth because unemployment in itself, they get the propensity for cause chaos. An idle mind, it cause trouble because you always they think, who's they go cause problems? You have to engage the youth. Now make day in and day out, when they talk about how to engage the youth. So they recognize the problem. And yesterday, indeed, I mentioned on this platform, say, when hardship, they eat the country, now it can lead to an increase in then kind unrest situations here. So they recognize some of the problems them we face. But again, AAA, they say when you talk pan the dog, you get for talk pan the bone. the youths yesterday, you and I, clearly, before this riot, this same program yesterday, we call on the youth. We advise them, say, restrain yourself from violence. Violence, not the born good pikin. Violence, not the make we country go before. Violence, not there in the interest of the country. We indeed advise them. Today, clearly, we don't wish the life some way go so today for let them, for let it go that way there. But this is now a consequence of failing to listen. A consequence of failing to listen. And look at some of the demonstrators, them. That picking and small picking and then put before for go demonstrate. Yeah? And one thing we get for no democracy in Africa is appalling. It's appalling. You go genuinely, you want to go demonstrate for show you dissatisfaction. But mind you, most of these security sectors, them, yeah, most of the police, they are not, the people that were not democratic. Now people them were not professional in their own job. Now make yesterday we they advised to youth them not to for jump na street. We indeed tell them, see, when I go register in large numbers. The election, literally, less than 10 months ago. 10 months. We go understand, then protect self, we don't come, like 2 years into the administration or, but you have less than 10 months to go into the elections. Why you go just patient and wait? If you feel say this administration are in the interest of your country, now in your own interest, vote them in. But if not, get rid of them. As simple as that. But look at their lives, the more we don't lost today. Look at the amount of properties them, burning stations, destroying the bus system, wait for the take una around, una go destroy them property them there. Does it make sense? Does it really make sense to you? Then sooner or later you will begin the queue, they wait for transport. It don't make sense. Yeah? Go bomb police station, wait for rely on later on for protect you. You go burn, a medical center, or destroy a medical center. Does it make sense to you? It don't make sense. This is why we the ask una for let una refrain from demonstrations. Then politicians here, then they use una as shield. Then they use una for their own selfish interest. Not to our own interest. Not to our own interest. So indeed yesterday, AAA, we actually advised them on that. Another thing again, I think I get for be honest with you, AAA, the way how the situation been done day today, we all they follow, I think say the curfew, it makes sense. Although to some extent, we may say it's a little bit contradictory to the Constitution. We know say it contradicts a little bit to the Constitution. Yeah? And the sense that sometimes then you get for declare a state of emergency for able for invoke that curfew. I know say, some people not to all parts of the country, we get their unrest here. So for go declare a curfew, a nationwide curfew, I think say it's not in the interest of everybody, or let's say not in the interest of 80% of the country, not in the interest of 80% of the country, because let's say about 70 to 80% of the country, they mean peaceful, they mean they forgo about their own business, I would say. But in a situation like this, AAA, we all see lives, they don't destroy property them, they don't kill civilians them, They don't they kill police officers them. We don't see the situation, they continue, and people and then on social media, they instigate, incite, to be precise. This thing they go on and on and on. I think say there should be a winner and loser situation. There should be a winner and loser situation. What do I mean by this? Some people and get for gain, for let not continue for destroy more lives. I think it better for let them restrain certain people when they go about their normal life in order for restore that peace and tranquility where we all pray for later in our country. And indeed, the curfew bring about. This is how you test. It's a test case. Does the curfew, where they bring come, does it bring restraint to the demonstrators then? Indeed, it does. Because for relatively quiet since this curfew came into existence. Suppose, for some reason, they invoke camp in some areas of the country while other countries are left out. You get the propensity for spillover in other areas. You get the propensity. But the act of bringing a curfew for bring about peace and tranquility, I think is in place for the peaceful existence of everybody. I think say if they restrain you for some hours, as long as in some emergency situations, I think it makes sense for restrain that freedom of movement of a person. I think so. Honestly, I disagree with you on that side. This is the beauty about this platform. We can agree or disagree, but to a very large extent, I believe say the curfew is in place, and more importantly, Triple A for crown this all. This is not the impact of the divide and rule we talk about, because not every part of the country would see them kind of demonstrations here. Now, also an impact of the joblessness in the country, especially in terms of the youth. Most of those youth today will participate in this thing, then tell you, they say, we'll not get job. They said it clearly that jobs are not there, and most of these guys have been influenced by some unscrupulous people. They must have been influenced because they are jobless. Anybody can come, you talk to them, you engage them. But that is not the best way to engage the youth. So in as much as we talk about the government, we also therefore they continue for talk to the youth them for let them see clearly. As I said yesterday, some of these youth, what may happen during the rebel war, they are very young. Some of them they're not even born yet. They don't know the impact of what they do. So we at this platform, we continue for talk to them, let them restrain. War in itself is not a good thing. We see what happened 20 years back in our country. You not go wish for that kind of situation have to happen in your country. We not go yearn for this. Yeah, we not go yearn for this. So I will stop here. Now give chance to my fellow panelists. Them. Thank you very much, Triple A, and thanks to everybody who is listening. We pray for your country. Let God bring peace. All the bad eggs in that country. So arrest me, case. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Usman Dolly.
Thank you.
Yeah. One for say thanks to Usman Dolly for your own contribution today. If you just join we don't try to unfold the things we happen today in the different areas in a salon. Let's come with Alpha. Let's hear what's in get for you. Welcome on board, Alpha. You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Triple A, and I want to say big good evening to all we listeners and all we viewers all over the world. First of all, before I go further for say anything, I want to express my sincere condolence to the one that we lost their life. And unfortunately, I lost one my college colleague, one police officer, and that's the exact possible incident kill. Right now, in family, they per month and they per serious cry. It really, really painful waiting to happen at the country. Well, I come back to the point the one for say Tripoli, I get about 3 or 4 points. Then I will start with the curfew the way the vice president announced, and then the response of the politicians. Yeah. And then I will go to Umar Fofana in report to Igi, and then I will finally maybe end up with Tonia Musa in conclusion, and then I will make recommendation. Tripoli, honestly speaking, the announcement for the curfew, we not will say a bad thing, but at least it helped for reduce the tension and it helped for put the situation under control. But again, when we look at another hand, we for don't settle this thing all this while before they reach to this curfew. I will make mention of when the doctor the one strike, then give 21 days notice. What did the government do? They not do anything. They allowed the doctors then for strike after 5 days. I said the vice president come in and try for short time and everything. The same thing, this strike action, the politicians, they not ever take this strike action seriously. Moreover, more especially when the police or the security sector say a faceless strike action. Trust me, they should have put all these things to rest. Giving the civilians, give them the opportunity, let them vent out their anger. And listen to them as government. Government should be a listening body, not to for begin overrule everything where people they say, not to for begin condemn everything where people they say, not to begin for politicize everything where people they say. People, when you go back to this entire thing, and also no side, all the video the one don't look, and also no side where they tell we say this na C4C, this na APC, this na SLPP, or this na this party. Everybody, when you even go back to the interview at the candy, people they express their dissatisfaction over situation at the country, and not political party expressing their dissatisfaction. This now one thing way the politicians, the government, always they miss. This is not something about APC. It's not something about C4C, NGC or not. These are ordinary civilian, ordinary citizens expressing their dissatisfaction, and not to delay, don't begin. The women then come out, they say they want for express their dissatisfaction over the cost of living. The government not ever give them list in years. The same thing again, this one don't come up. The government not ever give them list in years. Then say people are not show up. They refer to this protest as a faceless. The one the way they show up, when the woman they may show up, then politicize them, then catch Femi Claudius Cole and the others, then put them na cell. Then make them warm the whole weekend day. After all, then begin making them go sign back. So Uda go get that confidence day for go before to the police say I want stage protest. When they don't go all them and they lock them. When we set the precedent, now the after effects of the precedent was set, now we can mostly forget. If this thing, this police, then we don't take this thing honestly from the time we protest the one for happen. Negotiate with these people, give them demarcation, say if una want for stage protest, now this side to this side. Now so, una express una dissatisfaction, una write una placard, una make sure say una not cause mayhem. We give una police them able for protect other people them. That's how civilized community or society they behave. But not for everything where they want for where people they want for do civilian they want for do, then say as politicians, then they use them now politicians. Them politicians would always they cast this blame to opposition. Is the opposition and then they feel the hardship no more in the country? No way. The poor man at that village, the poor man at the city, the poor man at the slum, they feel the hardship. So allow them, let the government get a listen years. I want to believe say at this point, Tripoli, this government would all learn lesson from this. Yeah. So the coffee where the vice president give for me, like I say, it was good, and because of that, able to calm down the situation. But we not for don't reach all these points because this government underrates everything when it's happen on social media. Let's go to the response of the politician, the Alpha Saidu, the Imram, of course, the information minister. You see, like I said, they're always the things, say everything is about politics. People are expressing dissatisfaction of the cost of living. They say now politicians, now then they incite them, now then they this, now then that. Why can't we remove politics when people are saying reality? Why can't the government listen and accept, say, yes, things are difficult, but we are finding means and ways for reduce this pressure or this tension, this hardship? Listen and talk to the people. You make mention of when the president went for first COVID, he was fully involved and he bring other people on board. And by the time you know it, bam, we put COVID under control. This is what is expected of a responsible government. Bring people on board, listen to others, and from there you can make an informed decision. But see the reports again, Tripoli, from we politicians, the Faisal, the Imran. Let me just give some quotes where they say now. Yeah. Alpha Side doing say they shoot and kill. He's not the first one who has said that. Abu Namakeni don't talk that word, and other politicians don't talk, say they go shoot and kill civilians, nothing not the come bien. Take note. Number two thing, yeah, Imram say now by that politicians them then call for let overthrow the government. No sooner you get a biased heart, you know what thing they happen, you not open up for any discussion. And that's what this ruling government should always avoid. You've won the election, you don't rule for almost 95 years with the go through. Up till now, you still the cast blame upon opposition, you still the cast blame on Ukraine war, you still the cast blame on COVID. Come on, accept the responsibility, take responsibility of certain things. And, you know, promise the people, say, okay, we are working on these things. I could remember when the woman then come out, I talk say, the role of the first lady by then come out. You now woman can't listen to you who company woman them. Address them, say, okay, I don't hear you na cry. I go talk to me man. I go talk to the president. The same thing. We should accept responsibility. When you want for being leader, confront situation, no retreat, no go hide. And then you know, put the ordinary or the poor life of the police them at risk. And that's what we are seeing today. The police, they're so vulnerable to the extent that now they're on the front line. They are not well protected. At the end of the day, see the lives that we don't lose. Like I said, this thing should have been under control long since. When this thing don't begin come up, waiting the government for do, you get the information ministry, try for dialogue, try for listening to the people them. Go back to the president, give a report. Say, oh, Mr. President, XYZ is about to happen with people and not okay, let we talk to them. President to come out and make statements. This is how responsible government operates. But are we seeing it? No way. You see politicians, they say let them shoot on sight, let them kill. And that's not the message where the vice president give. Yesterday, we see when the vice presidents, they call people out for go do their normal business. Less than 2 hours. That's my next point, Tripoli. Less than 2 hours, a declare curfew. Yeah. What about those where nothing not happened in the area? They all lost talk outside and day. And the curfew not get a definite same way they done. Yeah. So some people go get for them in streets so say this week done if we're not careful. So why are we doing this? Are we seeking the interest of the people or what? Or we still go, you know, we still get the concept say because na APC, na SLPP they na power, APC they opposition, so they don't want to give we freedom. They don't want to give the ruling government freedom for rule. That's not so. We agree say things are difficult everywhere, but you see say other governments are doing a lot for reduce the economic hardship on their people. Now gas, now they go down, so 30 days we own day up. People are, these are the things where the youth and they say. And they go to Umar Fofana in report to say, I want to go directly to the end part of the point where the report. It said the youth them, even though when the information minister they say now politicians, they're unscrupulous politicians and all these things. Umar Fofana in report at the end, he say when he listen to the youth then say they not get job, the increase in prices and economic hardship. So that's the bottom line. Not to, when people they say now instigate, look, when you don't push somebody in the wall to the extent, trust me, that person they get all the zeal, and they get a zeal for bounce back, and that's what we are seeing. And mark this simply, mark you. And they tell you, it's not going to be easy for any government where they can sit down as Sierra Leone. It's not easy anymore. People will assess, people will be ready for commot, for demonstrate about things, about hardship. And a radical transition or inclusion changes now they take place. Because you as government, not only for seek your own interest, the politicians' their interest, but the interest of the people who elect you. Now go to another point where Tony Amusa said, there was one other professor who I like, yeah, he said they call on the government to let them create inclusive government. Then they call on the president for create inclusive government. And that's a very strong statement, which is very, very essential at this point in time. We don't say, since when this government take over, they see the opposition as terrorists, they don't call them all kind of names. And no way one government or one political party can't make a nation. It's not possible. Why can't the government see this? You don't win this presidency. Pull this politics, put aside, rule, and at least bring people on board. And we were able to make the change. But it's unfortunate. Let's end with this. I follow up the hot seats AAA, and I learned so much from Sorimara and Esquire. He make mention of this one, and I will try for round up with this one, AAA. They ask him, say, waiting the government for don't do, and that will take me to the same thing with the recommendation. He say, first of all, most of the appointments with this government do now based on then they appreciate for people them, and in why would they put in a position for be now the SAC cap the board, yeah. They say he resigned because since when the government sack the government sack the 10 parliamentarians in the APC, where he writes strongly against that, he say now they sack up or they call us saying no ever attend meeting. So that's tell you from the one say problem them you don't date from the onset. And he make mention, this is what I've been saying and I will continue for saying. The judiciary na Sierra Leone. That was the strongest statement with Sorim Esquire say. He said with judiciary still get problem. They don't do a lot, but a lot they. He said there are a lot of pending cases. There are a lot of injustice where they happen. And that's what I've been saying in this platform. AAA, any country when the justice system be politicized, trust me, chaos not a done day. Trust me, we know they end up with problem always there, because when you take advantage too much, young people they find a way when they vent out the anger. Like I said, that make cost don't bokuna Sierra Leone. And that make small thing they don't choke, because the young people, the general populace, not get confidence in the judiciary system. So at the end of the day, then they end up for take up the loan at their own hand. So a lot need for be done. They ask the last question Amadou asked him. He say, what about the time frame we don't left? He say, of course, the president need for do something, even though the time frame short. But what would they say now in my own conclusion? Yeah, Tripoli. The fact is, the president need for come back. Some people away around them, the one that we call a spokesman, them waiting and call the one they did. They get for scrutinize them. Some of them get for pull, they get for sack them, because these are the people who they cause the mayhem. Then we statement them, then so aggressive. Then they talk in a way that you really they see the problem. And this is what the president need for do. Certain people forget about the connection we get to them. The country comes first. And that's what the president should get. But we really, really need change. We really need to see improvements. Still, they get more time. They get about 6 to 7 months for make changes, for make things go better for the people. But if not, I'm afraid, like I say, it's not for easy anymore in Sierra Leone. Any government will come, if you not take the people seriously, you want for just begin cast blame. Trust me, the people that have the power and then get right, they will go after the government. Now, that's my own take. Thank you very seriously.
Thank you very much, Alpha. We want to say thanks to Alpha for your contribution today. Let's out Tony. Let we hear waiting in get for we today. Welcome on board, Tony Toure Jones. You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, Abraham, thanks for having me. Kushe and Cabo Fambulem. I want to say thanks to the previous contributors. And today now a sad day. Excuse me. For we country and for even we they live outside Salon. My deepest condolence to the families that we lost their loved ones. Just like I say on Monday, go be different from the contribution where I make on Monday. When you have a lot of vacuum, when you create or you allow vacuum or gap in communication, these are some of the effects. And they know they always be positive. They always come back with a negative effect. Communication is very key. It's very key. It's not about stronghold. It's about communication. When you become a president of a nation, that very day, you're not the president for the one country. You're not the president for your own cabal. You're not a president for just your tribe men. You're not a president for just people the way if you say, like you. You become a president for everybody. And even in we small corner, even in we relationship, even with we own personal life, you get people that will go tell you, say, this way you do is not right. Your parents will tell you, say, Tony, what you do so is not correct. Your brother will tell you, say, what you do so is not correct. That doesn't change the fact that he's not your brother, or not to your mama, or not to your papa. Because they want the best for you. They make people they always they advise. They make people they always they bring issues. If they feel say things are going wrong, they tell you. They communicate. Even families they get family meetings. Companies they get town hall meetings. Other people they get they call them staff meetings. Do you understand? When you get authorities, we get the responsibility for disseminating information. One another for the calm and begin talk in slangs, begin talk against negative things that we say, oh, we not told the one that we did it. No, you've been given a job. Your job will then give you get a contract for end. It gets a date where they say these are for 5 years mandates. If we think that lines, then there's certain things and they're not correct. Then go with checks and balance and they don't go ask questions. You see, media houses like CNN, most times they go town hall meeting, invite the presidents, can't ask them questions, can't talk to them. You see press briefings every day with the Secretary of State and they come and they address the media, they address. In a society of Sierra Leone where you have a lot of gullible minds, where you get a lot of people that we know they understand. Some man they see and interpretations are different. Even the one that we go school. He go see red, he call us say no, not to red, na bogodi, or na this color. Because their vision are all clouded with political thoughts. Now waiting a political party, they tell them, so when you then at that seat of power, when you get that responsibility for communicate, when you're able for communicate to the people, they change a lot of mindsets. They change a lot of things. These governments get for learn one thing. Not to just for the go communicate in Abo, for the go communicate in Kenema. Those areas are your stronghold. Even when we do marketing, let's know the areas. We dey focus on areas where we know say that area they will not get better market presence. Now that's why they do with the target and put more resources because we want to win more people over. So we focus not to go na Bo and Kenema again because we know say the market for Bo and Kenema now we market. So you focus your energy and resources. Now here the way you know say there if not 10 customer you will bring over every day from the other side, it's a big impact because those people that are here now listen. But when you tell for draw a division, when these have been an historic problem, not so just within this government. When you tell for say no, they are not strong when they are there for satisfy. Yes, there's nothing wrong for making not satisfy them. But you try for win people them over because this is a game, it's a number game. You understand? You create so much vacuum. If you get people in the diaspora, they feed into that negative, that vacuum where you left, they feed in negative things. These are the effects. What are the benefit? Nobody no win. Now we lost. Everybody lost. We living at the diaspora. People say, "Oh, this is the people in the diaspora." When they expression in Sierra Leone, the effects, the one way they feel the effect, now the people in the diaspora. That's true. Remittances where they happen every day or a month for a year. quantify and see the amount of revenue or the amount of resources where they come out of the diaspora, where they go now salon. Waiting at the travels in conclusion, yeah. Government, if it's possible, you get a media team. When they can't today now, when they talk Imran Silan and others, they didn't impress me. These are people when they are against even the president Madabio. What you know, I first said do not talk about Madabio. Imran Silan was NGC. What you know, not talk. So they didn't even impress me. They were just yelling about, but begin to talk things that were not relevant. When you have a podium, I admire the vice president. These few days where they act, he was so informative. Even when yesterday I don't contribute, when you go now speech, he begin to tell me about dialysis machine they work, about this they work. Have the communication team where you don't state and not to for come for begin to do yeleba business. Being informative, give people information, talk things to them. They say not to in a so you not come on not to in not there now, we not come on from one different planet to now know the problem of Sierra Leone. When you have podium to educate the people, talk to the people. You have radio station at the eastern. You have Star Radio. You have this. But these people not even going to their radio station in the way I stayed. And the people in I stayed, when money come, the old man they run for car walk. Get some way, say, yes, you get different days them. Where they disseminate, go around if possible, get billboard where they show people the development, the way government they do, waiting government they do, we're able for communicate to people, create that trauma, top of mind awareness, let people they know, let people they see, let people they this. If possible, get visual, the world learning now a lot of things that audio visual, people in the voice and video where they show. That's all man they watch YV, that's all man they watch SABC. Disseminate information, get 4 corners of salon if possible today. Una they disseminate, give information. Tell people them, all town hall meeting, let people them come there and ask questions. Go if not protocol, go there all town hall meeting, let people them come and ask questions, give them grievances. Let them talk. Waiting then let them born in issue. Big companies they do harm. Staff them go come and say the way forward. What can we do different? What can we this? But if you get so you just make this thing like I say, na college fraternity or na a club where if you there against you get for come against you na net. No, that's what say the wrong government. You create that kind of arm. You create open arm where people they come. That's all man they come for come le belle like alpha like alpha can them. Because we all know the dirty deeds that Alpha can do. If they talk about internet connectivity, where poorly there's also Alpha Can is responsible. He was Minister of Information. Now one thing that will cause the fallout between him and the president because he eats all the money where they did. For cover and not did, he run can label, can live in Belen on a foot. When I say, oh, he do good. Now so other people that for don't can label. No, he didn't do it for the interest of the nation. He did it for himself. So cover is dirty work. So when you they come as the president, when they come, when get to cabal, as that kind waiting and calling it, when I get for open, when I get for go answer the other eye. Even at that country, they see there's a good relationship between Biden and even the Republicans. Why do you think he's doing that? He's not doing that because he wants to make the best interest. And the watching days that they see always see approve way able for pass. All the development things that we're able to do. How do you say do them? He establish a very good relationship on the other side. He didn't take them as other Republican and so them they do. No. He sees them as partner in development. He sees them as people that where they can bring ideas together for the furtherance on development of this nation. Where it's different. Who does they talk about divide and rule? Which is true. Everywhere there's divide and rule, even in a family, you got people that wait circle. But most times, if once you see those things, you therefore make sure say it's time for embrace. It's time for able for coming. If even your position is time for create that kind informal divide and rule, the type of say, oh, they're not be symbol to now. You try for coming and bridge the divides. You try for coming and create that relationship. You try for coming and go because I always say this, it's a number game. If a government work for the people, you don't need for campaign second time. Now people go look and say, this president, it didn't work. This president, it on top of situation. When you create that vacuum, if you say, now all man go school and salary reading rights, no. So they make you find out say even the people that waiting at the fires, not even know what's happen sometimes. We know the support what happen. This is bad because taxpayer money today, you see buses. But when some people then grieve, people then they in anger, people then they this, they're not gonna know them baseless, then they rely on somebody who sit down at one corner, now one part they talk to them. Look at the audience where they give that guy. I know I call them because we're not for call them. People in the Sudan, they put ready for listening to them. Who create those vacuum? If somebody there, na Maryland, they talk now, they get in live program, they went there call. Una for set up a team where they always try for be informative and counter some of those things because una the hear. Not for una not the hear, una not the see, una not the this. This thing has been on air for over a month. Then they talk about August 8th or August 9th or August this. They not they talk about this thing. People are not the rumor. What did these guys do? Now for just being reactive instead of being proactive. When this thing then starts, when I'm being with a call, you don't see the smoke. You come in and try for interject, try for see how best you can move. So you got to always allow people to me them vent their anger. When if people them come out, that the way them they come out, them woman they come out, them kill person. No, they come out peacefully. They sit down na wait they call. They vent their anger. They talk. They wear them black. That was simple. So if you allow people to say okay, and everybody will don't contribute to say this, and people that they come out and say things. It's just like you when you get a company, you call meeting for less staff than can talk. Not all man go can they talk good about the company. Some man go talk about the pitfalls. Some man go talk about the challenges. Then when I go come in now and find the solution, the way forward. We all man know say what's in happen now national now war crisis. Yes, I say full with inflation they high. But they know they hide them, they know they go keep under the rug, they accept it and they find solution to the problem. How they go for the mediate between them and the importers, that should be constant and they give people the information. We are not just sleeping. We are constantly involving the importers of fuel or gas station and saloon. We talk to MP, we talk to Total, we talk to this. If price come down, we go make sure say the price then come down. If price go down, we go make sure say this happen. Even foodstuff, we give subsidies to this, we give subsidies to. Don't keep those information. Let it out to people. Let them know. Let them see. They know say yes. At least government they give them concessionaire. Government they give 5% reduction on this. Government they give this and this. But when you keep everything, you feel say na all man get PhD. No man for no. No. The people of Sierra Leone will get their minds and gullible. Some, even the one who educate their paper, their minds and gullible as well. So you always come in, be informative, tell people that in the press conference, just like I said earlier. Let people that know what's in the happen. Let people that know what in government they do for crisis. Government on this. They mean the vice president when he comes 2-3 days. It's always say dialysis machine and we don't ever know. Now, he can't tell people that say, so amounts, they walk around that they are spiritual. This is what we expect. People, therefore, be informative. If we carry out and giving contribution, we're not just wasting time. Most times, they talk on issue of the day. If the government, you don't hear them out, don't know they talk their nonsense here. Don't know they talk about it. We concerned because our investment is always not salary day. We know they work now. We know they keep not use out in because we always try to get a plan B. Say, Dan, then we come out. That's how we now people country. So we're not going to be happy if something happen in our country. Then say nobody is happy. Nobody is supporting the people that waiting at some corner. They incite people that we're not happy about that. We concerned because our investments, we picking them with family. Then they're not that country. So, but government where you not the head, it's just like you did and the papa when at the host. If you don't begin, you say you picking and go for strike tomorrow. They go for go on hunger strike. Call them to a meeting and say, I hear say now go on hunger strike. I hear say now they do this now again. I hear say now they do this. You not that now you not the papa. That was it. Let them do what they have to do. Any way you papa say, let them do what they have to do. Even when you talk about the elements of management, control is the last. It ain't order of permanence, planning, organizing this. Control is that which means that home not get control. Who's like you say, let them come on now. Not come out, not this, which means there is no control. And management, when you talk about management, effective management or leadership, control is the last word. And that was the bottom line why people didn't vote for Madabio, because he has been a military guy. Because the past regime, it got to a point there was no control. Lawlessness was rampant. People they do what they want for the minister and the chief. Did they this, they do that, they do that, nothing didn't happen because there was lack of control, which is very important element in management. So if una self-calm, una do all the nice planning, all the nice blueprints and this and that. If that last element of management, control not there, all what you don't plan. Then because they see some family and them say that them gently, them don't know pull. They are the family and I mean this nothing to go because that last element. You left you pick like they do what you want for do. Control not there now. Most if you say you go sit down one day then count in the body. Or then sit down one day they can't call so you pick it in a parent by road or they na prison because what you make there was no control in the home. So when you get that side, we not they control all day, all man they do what they want for do, that affects this. This is the ripple effect. Lawlessness, we don't the IT, they increase. People they do what they want for. How you go born boss? How you go born this? Men say the papa me then house, the pikin want go longer strike, the pikin want for talk to their mama, the pikin want for talk to their parents. Nobody is giving them attention. Everybody is giving them deaf ears. So at the end of the day, this is what happened. Everybody is in chaos now. Everybody they want helter skelter. Those lives lost, no ever come back. Those property that were they on board, no ever come back. Now other resources we get for use back with them for don't use on other areas for bring those things back. So you don't allow situation got to that point. You address them right there. As you begin get somebody call them the one who do man talk about grapevine. Grapevine is formal of communication. As you give them grapevine and they coming straight. Don't waste time. Coming straight. You are begin to address the situation. Don't come in and begin to throw shades. Because most of the authorities, and when they come on here, they begin to talk English, begin to target opposition. No, in marketing and when they do business or whatever, you know there's competition. In every aspect there's competition. Even God self, even Jesus self, there's competition when I Satan. They're fighting for the same resources. They all be working. So in everything there's competition. In everything. Even what's self there's competition when I ginger beer, when I beer. Everything that's competition. Even your wife, I like if I say somebody don't find password that man when you competitor. So in everything, just understand, say this thing where you can already, the opposition, there will always be an opposition. There will never be say, no opposition, no good. Even your family is somebody they will oppose you. So there is always an opposition. So once you did it, use the ability when you get to the resources for make you know say, let me someone can say, let my enemy live long and see what I will do in future. So I can hold the narrative. So don't ever come in and say, this is my opposition. This because you created the vacuum. Because there's lack of control. So when you get to a situation where you're not head in a family, head in anything what you do, you get for make sure you cross the aisle. You never get for this person that gets me, I'm not going to talk to her. This person, no, because they're all relevant. In every establishment, every society, there's both two groups, formal and informal group. The informal group, you can't just leave them like a dandy. You always get for make sure the informal group, try for make you see them like say their significance in the process because it's a team. Even the weakest link in the chain is very important, and that makes them call a chain. If the weakest link cuts, it's no longer a chain. It's no longer a teamwork. It's no longer a team. So you as president, you as head, you don't get for rule the country like I say. Now they are amicable. But even within the SPP, there is camps. Even within the one where they rule with, this is the power per camp. Then when you talk about the bigger picture, somehow you ever see them, now you see them on the surface. So that exists everywhere. But if you as the president, look what will happen. You able to do what will happen. These are signs. These are indicators. These you therefore begin to see this and begin to see how election therefore sound like in June. These are signs. So you as president, you listen to the Minister of Information. We want to forget substance. We want to forget unifying information. We want to forget things that we go unify the nation. Not so begin to politicians we're desperate for get power. No. In a situation, even in a country, they live not so where they come on the street, na politician. Because the cost of living or certain things, then they will probably not they go right. People want to vent their anger. They don't have the way to do it, or nobody is listening to them. Nobody is giving them the ears. Even the civil society organization, where for be the voice of the people, they've all been politicized. They've all been bought over. Wait for talk for people apart from Fatoma and others. The few people that when they talk, you see them, they give them colors. So you have to always allow people, make them, give them anger. It doesn't matter. For them, they can't talk, so you know me say that they can't go for country. You know, not talking, they can't talk. When they talk on the way you answer them, some man go and say, yes, I'm impressed. At least I'm going now. I will. Let's get your program now, Star Radio now Eastern. Or Start TV or whatever. Radio station in the Eastern way popular. Radio station in the McKinney way popular. That's a different dynamics, different approach in handling situation. Don't get that same strategy and if you say you expect a different result, no. Or if you say the modality owner they put in place, then go win this election, no. If you put those modalities you want to make it like a rubber stamp, this will be the effect tomorrow. This is just a sign. This is a signal. This is a way we're government for begins to say, this night checks. Now we do begin know where to the pan. They get for listen to people. They get for waiting and call. It's not about colors. This we're not talking about colors. We went in and that's why we get the effect because we don't know with the same money now salon for people that will not get work. Even though when they get work, what's in the middle salary is so small. Some salary not even reach $100, which is 1,300,000. Some even not even reach 200. Some man a manager, my salary not even 5 million. They're the parents of this. Everyday cost of living. That's what blame. We don't blame government 100% for that. That's the way we handle and say yes. This is not what we're trying to do. Only guy that will come out today. Remember, we can talk now. Open institution. That's where the way go absorb some of them guys today. And I'll steal the show because it's frustrating. You they feel so bad. Where we take 4 steps forward and we take 5 steps behind. Now we see so today. Then I'm here take Abraham.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Yeah.
Let me bring in us friend. Let me hear you. Waiting he gets for you. Welcome on board, us friend. Get the platform.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tripule, for giving me the platform. And thanks to Usman Toli for his own presentation. And thanks to all the listeners and viewers. I'm on a sad situation. We don't experience in a salon. Due to things that move on the crop up all in this they are, the catalog for bring all this unrest. We look at a kind of point of lawlessness and indiscipline. That on one side. But again, on the other side, when at the law, we try for look say some of them they propose say likely then where they use force. Okay. Others then they say they restricts them for even come up. And then here they talk now the overall issue with government for do one at the role. And what's in at the role people and they talk about that dialogue and trying for let peace go able for day. Let all areas apparatus who need for let peace go day. And dialogue and tranquility and people and look themselves as a Sierra Leonean, not as a kind of ethnic point they look so all that one they say they look at this stage on the duty of the party where they control the authority. The group or the section where they the authority when the government, which in them before don't do. Because we know see them we don't they get all anything there in terms of democratic rule. Then they don't decide and put law them legal duty then they for obey and they put them law there unless citizens go obey obligations and they when our laws will then put themselves. But most times when the moral they had the responsibility we they don't put based on the rights and the wrong where people are supposed for know. So you go see the defaults where they side people and they call say what are the civic duties. People that know what are their rights, people that know what are the law what they call for, or people that even understand the constitution. Or not only them we understand the constitution, they find way for secure themselves in all aspects of being there so that they will become safe in terms of the law. When a riot crowd then go react or something when unrest or something when a national issue in terms of economic problem, how then go deal with them things there. So this is how people and they try to focus on from different aspects. But when they go into right now, they try to take and first here the issue of this virtual protest. So we don't begin to it come to a faithful one, the faceless to faithful. So it come with people on the try to say the civil rights, how then they know. But people then feel say this is the civil rights we then get for go out for stone. And in the end, if you not listen to them. But not to the stone they come first and they try for say they come out for let them can listen to it. But when they not listen and begin to push we away, then we begin the stone. But it become like a norm, but which is not normal because politics they try for bringing that system say na in normal. So now so we they build up with defense every time. But the point here is how are we going to get the way forward into this issue of indiscipline, lawlessness, and then loyalty from the government and able to get accountability and openness so that they will get effective structures that will make life go. So it become a battle between two lines where you can get the CSO that can come inside, United Nations can come inside, developing partners, and referee that can come inside when they don't give comments. So the three sides that now you see who that get for hold up. Then one point inside there with the CI is supposed to be a detached ish body again inside this game where they play. We're not the one who not the security side, we're not the police. But again, we see double effect wherein the army come inside. So you get two sectors of the security where they try to control this, where people and they say they have to be independent, and then they get the CSO in between, And they get politicians from different sectors there, and then you get the neutral people who are at the UN. It's quite a big issue we will deal with, but one for take them up this quick way, why I don't put out the civic duties open and all before no, and then write them what they get for embark for letting them show people what in there for do. And the area of that virtual protest, the way people and before don't control them, looking at the mass media, what are the mainstream media, is different from the social media. Then before don't tackle them by this method of social media engagement, so that they go able to monitor based on the security factors the owner get or apparatus there. Then you get the other sector now the country again, where overall this all, then an institution where the government give. We are the ONS, we are the Office for National Security. We see then they always aspire for get transparent political accountability, openness, something we know to a political, that are the agenda, effective structures. And the effective structures there, now one day was supposed to safeguard free, independent, and democratic Sierra Leone. So that for let the well-being of each person be able to secure them. There's if you go ask them question, what thing then they do. It's quite broad, but I will just point out the areas that we government get for look into how they will deal with this thing. That's not their own duty. But with the, most of the time, whether the endowment or the infrastructure, whether before don't work with the government and work with the security apparatus, then now when the police and the army, how they will able to disburse them. Then inside the back, we see them form subgroup, what they call early warning for security. Apart from the other one, NUEP, now other body again. But this is the early warning when the VP back able for pilot them. Then you didn't see Interpol don't come inside salon when they don't make the police and they try to know some things, how for check phone, how for do this messaging. We will see the vice president, the minister of information. We don't come bring Facebook, try to know how they monitor things. But when they ask, were they effective? Then we left them one and they all still come back to the papa, who na the daddy, we na the kumbra. The kumbra, we for beer and try make in picking them in house, who they know go the fet. Not to for look picking them because of na that one they na born them or na mate picking. You try for see them why? Because in the end of the day, they're all now inside one small village then they. Inside this village, they're all the people and get land there. But how you go able for let them go able live together? Oh, you know, we see na common na not to land because now they all na the village, now the same village they lodge, but not only because of the size of the village and the type of lifestyle. People and some man they go do fishing at that village day, some man na farming they go do at that village day, some man na dance man they make music, some man na people who they go help for farming, different sectors and in that small village day, una salute. So you are the person now for say this I want to bring this unity together. That now they get tolerance. Find all the ways and means possible so that you go able to get that dialogue stage where you go able for always engage. Oh well, they're not look lawless. And they call them this. So you bring the factor of instead of dialoguing, sometimes knowingly and unknowingly, you always bring name calling. And the name calling, you always bring them up. And then you see as something the pride for come. But you not even reach the stage where you don't re-elect today. Like people like in the name calling. Then the duty of the president again, you go say, well, people and they work on my behalf. I get a team. So you sometimes you see the team, in most times, like you mentioned, they can get different factors with different ideas coming into the group. Everybody getting your reason. Just like if you get the people who the civil war being come. Some man because something and girlfriend may take my hand, or some man in business and be pull my hand, or some man in land they've been depressed, or some man that police belong local. We then do something, and that was the they go for girlfriend, which was evidence today in a smaller scale. So they see all these kind of factors and say, no, well, I give for try them people there unite. I don't go say because that man they troublesome all the time. And me there for pin and done day. Then I put restrictions. I can able to say, okay, you know will come out today. You go sit down there, they feed you, you come, then people there and talk to you. Let them bullies and talk to you. So you bring inside the people that we know the young people them, you engage them, and then you go meet them. and try for say, now so I get for do. But sometimes again, you can get people and empathies there when are individuals, then you come out. Because we see like people and I mean to me on SLBC today, 3 people in that panel day, you go see some of them, then go see them come inside for different intention. And while that process day, one of them, they get for confess, well, me, I've been the opposed by that view. But now, for sure inclusion, it don't bring me inside. But you not go look out from that sector today. For seeing that sector, people and they say, well, what a mixture of political this, or let people and become a broad base or nationalize all man. So you go say, now your idea is the use. So that moment then I see he even put add up by own because he gets a motive of himself at the talk. We see the other one again, talk say directly, that then wire. Name calling, he can't inside because of that prejudice area of that psychology mind. You get name calling. You forget about the social aspect of life, how people in life they behave. You look at them from that aspect, then you deal with them. But you they react now. You know, they see the point of the social way we play and live and try to see what you go address it. You they do name calling. Instead of you, they say, well, we don't see how this. We will find way we will be able to solve this. For come now to quickly the areas and the one that we will point out this. What's in the UN people and talk about? Somebody when at the UN under secretary would then call Rosemary DiCarlo. They retweet them under with UN Sierra Leone. They go to that way Babatunde and so on. But what in tweet now? When I tweet because they retweet them, you and I retweet them. He talk. I will quote him. He said, "In aware of the worry reports, there would escalate in tension in a salon. The violent clash between the protesters and the police. Na salon. He hashtag them. He said, well, he hope say this calm he go able for restraint will go prevail. You know what this calm here, like he go last. And how he go last? He said, the two sides there, they all for turn into inclusive dialogue for resolve any differences them wouldn't they. So if you're not mature person, there's somebody who at this UN, business alone because like one of the rapporteur, but in at the UN base, and in now they're in charge of political, any political and peace building affairs. So now in the day with them in the ID oversee, that means he don't know say something has been there when a long lasting issue. That's right, this again for let go last long and let the dialogue go resolve for let people not get any indifference. So you as a leader, we can't begin to point fingers now again. You go first of all apologize, and secondly, you go try for sympathize, and then you go try for confront them. But because of those small pockets them of people and wouldn't be, maybe it's like this person outside, we can't tell this because in get different motive. Then you will see other individuals go do this. But people are doing isolated things in the party most times that they can affect this. Before we come to the people and one of the demonstrators and go last church day. So you see say all the things there, I see the referee and kind inside. Then you get again the issue, what they been do, what they do for control all this today. The measure what they take again, when an instant one. That was waiting, then they call a kill switch. And what's that this kill switch? That now for shut down and do an internal blackout of all the internet. But you see, say it not last long. Well, me go say, for me, what in I know small, I not say not true, not say it be. I know say United Nations rapporteur, we don't get this expression for say, they're not for they do the attack of network infrastructure. They're not for interfere with them or for let them do anything for delay. ECOWAS again, then we don't get her as a court when they even charge Togolese. So maybe they remember and say, we don't get other thing that will be signed. Lord will not do and go far. This one will not kill switch, it will even affect we. So the Lord will not remedy that one day. That's I will just left that side there. So now we look at waiting at the effect of this tier, what you don't do. I want to look at the health sector quickly now because I know the most immediate one. Because like as I talk to you now, the issue that happened right now in our corner. What's in the happen? Then people in a few people who know say them we don't get damages them. And one then wouldn't get a stray bullet, wouldn't shoot na free tongue, and then they bring in a corner and they will get few knocks, they will be don't kind of money, they can't do their shifts today. And then during this process, one of the victims, the one Bobo acting alpha something, then get for shoot him. Now the back, when I in pelvic area, but the bullets not come out. So then get for do open belly. What the total and this apparatus the open belly, so they go able for structure in belly small. They're not able to pull the bullets. That picking then carry an ICU when I intensive care unit because they carry you go. This net here, then they can look for person for let them go see him because in condition it don't go worst. So I don't know if no more by morning it will survive, but the effect of him. And those people that would attend them picking, people that are back, when a few people wouldn't bring the now the one they don't kind of money, they're not able to carry and go back. The few that wouldn't send them for return at the host, the drivers, they go. Then the security they wouldn't for car, they escort them, then they go get a sound mind. So tomorrow, in case of anything, then go there, they follow them, go help the process of taking care of the health, then neglect them. So then they stuck not going home, looking after these few patients then, without Bobo in condition, I don't know, I hope say normal condition will last, and the other one will see them will die, the one will die, I think a foot they shoot, or the other one inside they shoot. So then why are all the issues when you see the effect of unsteadiness. So you cannot look at to the people and one of the bands have been begin with them briefly, waiting then get for try for no. But now the knowing one involved to the government get for try help the people. I know say they bring civic education, I know say they bring awareness, but let them start with the dialoguing. That area where they will look into the system say we not go look into somebody in anything and they look to them as Kumra. Because when you say Kumran, some people get branch. You that person who they develop branches there according to the word in origin. So this is what you get for look into. You want to create branches of human things, so all these kind of things. But it is quite long. So I will get for left hand there so that I will get for remind no more the government. Then remember the Maputo Accord would have been signed, and that Maputo Accord entails quite a lot. We see then they round them, then they bring them up in any issue now, so that the rights of the people are not for say they get right for camp damage something, but the right is that the infrastructure would then get for use the ONS and try for structure they make for security, and then the government get for involved into good dialogue and no say it is painful, it's not fine for let people and become lawless because business they cut down, taxes only run, and at the third day this and it is slow down and now curfew day. So there is quite a lot. I will leave them for now, but only hope say then go able for look out from them points they are wearing, then go able for get you reunite people so that they go able to get a shared idea. And once there is a shared idea between politician, civilian, but for that you go get a shared idea of people are thinking as Sierra Leonean, now you get for create the platform or whatever you create, then you use that term day. So this is what I pray for let unity go day. I know I'm going to everything, and also everybody get for getting your contribution. Let go help politician there. So then we'll get a new way for the brand politics. Thank you very much. Let God help the nations.
Thank you very much, Usfriend.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah. We want to say thanks to Usman Toli, Alpha, Tony, and Usfriend for their own contribution today. We can't say enough, Naya. This is not the first time we done the call on the president for come out and address the people. When you left the gap, well, somebody else or something else go come and fill that gap there. Now make with them say, oh, people and say, now people in the diaspora and they tell people and for go out there. They meet the willingness of the people to want to go there. In Amos Black Lives Matter protest not happen. Who say we dey? Amos Africa man don't go join them. Waiting do. The bills then they for pay. The one then they not tongue for responsible for. So you busy by waiting the bring come the paycheck at the end of the month. Not so waiting then say oh this and that. Well then you say protest. Go na them protest and they who say we dey or not they talk. Go count Amos Africa man they under. Go count Amos Africa man join there. Because who they force to tell no enough for we. Okay. Mr. President. The one that they say let you know talk. They not like you. They not like you today, they not like you tomorrow. And then they tell you say no talk. And then they answer. No talk to them. Something they go on. Instead of a professional journalist interview people, because maybe if the journalists and they'll be able to forget some other better thoughts. The communication strategists from the Ministry of Information and the can sit down, they liberate themselves. President Bill go there now, he go roll back. This and that's not what's the topic of the day. What's doing? Day before yesterday, na be faceless. And so na faceless protest today na they say na APC. President Bill sir, engage the people more. Well, you see, the only time wait first, but let's talk one small to. President Bill, we can go parent guard again there. Who side the way don't go in not to go with shade? Or you know how they talk? Who's guarding the being president Bill don't go team up with old Mike? We not to go with shade by APC. Show me ba. Oh, that begging. Hey, don't say begging. No, seriously, any say president will go. He must jab them one or two. He must give them. Alright. Go there back tomorrow, yeah? I'll be with today. We don't have violence in the salon. Peace, love, and unity. If you don't follow it from Monday, you're going to say, we talk to the people, them. Talk to them. Talk to them. But this now we'll get today. Still yet will not retire. Let peace reign. President Bill behave like say na the papa. Or behave like say na that step papa will not like the step pikin. Now if for able for do for make the step pikin look ping and say no, this papa is correct. But again, make peace reign. Go there back tomorrow. Now be with today, huh? We're not the open phone line. To meet again tomorrow. Triple say, tata.